to Damage 365 Radio.
Funkenstein Wrestling Superstore, selling wrestling memorabilia from all around the world, including WWE, TNA, Japan, Mexico, and the very best of the independents. They've got action figures, DVDs, autographed memorabilia, t-shirts, and more. Plus, stop in and get tickets for great promotions like UWA Elite, CZW, and many others. Located indoors at the world-famous English Town Flea Market, Green Building, booth number 35 on 90 Wilson Avenue, Manalapan Township, New Jersey. Open every Saturday and Sunday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Log on to Facebook.com/Funkenstein Inc. for more information.
This is the War Machine Rhino, the last ever ECW World Heavyweight Champion, and you're listening to Damage 365 Radio. Keep listening or you'll get gored in half.
WarriorsOfWrestling.com. See roster profiles of past and present Warriors of Wrestling stars. Over 50 highlight videos of Warriors of Wrestling events, full-length matches, order tickets to future Warriors of Wrestling events, and an extensive DVD collection featuring past events, compilations, documentaries, and much, much more. Only at WarriorsOfWrestling.com.
This is Lanny Poffo, formerly the genius full of glory and renown. You are listening to Damage 365 Radio.
The following announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.
Hey everybody, this is Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man, and you are listening to Damage 365 Radio. And remember, everybody's got a price for the $1 Million Man.
Back, ladies and gentlemen, and we're joined at this time live the current Tier 1 World Heavyweight Champion, Mr. Darius Carter. We'd like to welcome you to the Indie Super Show.
Thank you. Every time I hear my name, it feels beautiful. Thank you for the introduction.
I've said it enough today, so you must be feeling pretty good.
Yeah, I was listening to some of the preview shows, or the beginning of the show, I should say. It was enjoyable, so thank you for all that.
I hope I got my facts straight about the 1 year of not having your shoulders pinned to the mat. I
mean, that is correct. You know, when you really think about that, that's remarkable considering the level of competition now.
Yep, absolutely.
The people I've gone up against. So,
okay, we kind of want to start from the beginning though, before we get into the current Darius Carter. When did you decide that this is something that you wanted to do, and like, who was your biggest influence?
I knew from day one. It's one of those things that, you know, I didn't need to fail something to stumble into wrestling. I didn't need to think it over. It was just something that naturally was part of me. Wrestling was always a part of me. And when I had a chance, the first chance I had, or the first opportunity that was provided to me to professionally train, when I was 18, that was it. 2008, that was it.
Okay. Now, was there somebody that you kind of looked to that you said maybe I can be like that guy, or you know, if he can do it, I can do it?
I mean, the Nature Boy Ric Flair is always my go-to. To me, it's without a doubt, it's without question, that is my primary influence. And of course you gain influences along the way, and you pick up little things from other wrestlers, or you kind of idolize them in different ways. But Ric Flair to me is the go-to. The way he dressed, the way he walked, the way he talked, his passion, his competency in the ring. I mean, Ric Flair could do anything with anybody.
I can see the similar swag. I can see it.
I appreciate it. That's the greatest honor, to be able to be compared in any way to the greatest of all time. That's remarkable, and that's what he did. And some people may say, oh, you know, he had similar matches with those guys, but this man is someone that took wrestlers from completely different spectrums of competition. So guys from Lex Luger to Barry Windham to Ricky the Dragon Steamboat to Dusty Rhodes, you know, to Harley Race. This is a man that was able to do it with them all. Right. And that to me is the making of a true superstar. That to me is someone who's truly legendary. You know, not somebody who's just wrestling one or two matches. This is a guy that's or you know, is really having his best matches with the same people. Right. Ric Flair was able to have the same caliber of contest with anybody, and that's what makes him the greatest of all time.
Okay. I can, you know, I always say, if you're looking to do that Mount Rushmore of wrestling, that Ric Flair, absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, is one of the four that goes up on the wall. So. And
that's what I'm here for. That's what I think it's all about. I think if you don't want to be, it's like when they say if you don't want to be a world champion or a heavyweight champion, then what are you doing this for? You know, if you don't want to be on the Mount Rushmore of professional wrestling, if you don't want to be one of the first names that someone brings up when they talk about wrestling, if that's not your goal, then, I mean, what are you doing it for? Right. And if you don't want to do it for that reason, so be it. Some people just want to do it just for other reasons. It's a nice pastime for them. It lets them get out, you know, physical aggressions and things like that. Some people use wrestling as different things, different outlets for different people. That's fine.
Right.
But me, that's what I've always wanted to be. So not everyone's going to love how I do things or what I do, but I think that universally the opinion on what I do is strong. So.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, we respect your ability in the ring. I mean, sometimes you and I have our Twitter disagreements of how you do some of the things you do, but that all comes with the business, and you know, it's not just all right being number one. It's how long you can remain number one and doing everything you have to be that way.
And that's why I do what I. That's exactly why I do what I do. And if you understand Ric Flair, then you understand that mentality that I have.
Right.
It's be all end all. You know, Ric Flair went, you know, chased Dusty Rhodes in the back in a car, videotaped the beatdown. You know, slamming the limb into the door. I mean, between the door. That's what you have to do sometimes to remain your champion. And again, not everyone's going to agree with that. That's their business. You know, they're not the champion. I am.
Right.
So that's a pressure that I have to. I have to keep Tier 1 wrestling in everybody's mind. I have to, as their champion, I have to push that brand forward. I have to make people think Tier 1 wrestling. Every time I'm competing or I'm competing with that title on the line, I carry the pride of that company. So I have to do certain things to maintain that. You know, because whoever beats me for that title, let's say I get beat tomorrow. What if that person can't carry the pressure that I carry? What if that person can't do what I'm doing? You know, that's what it comes down to.
Right. Before we get into the Tier 1, let's talk a little bit about Warriors of Wrestling. We kind of watched you mature within that company. You were kind of like that young, kind of like snotty, arrogant, you know, guy, but you kind of like matured into this character. And I always laughed about it, saying that Darius Carter is a heel the minute he gets 1 foot out of his car until the minute he closes his car and goes home. And I find it, you know, great that you're able to maintain throughout the whole night. You get there, you're Darius Carter, you wrestle, you entertain, you leave the ring, you're Darius Carter, you get in your car and you go home and, you know, you're whoever. But you represented Warriors of Wrestling as the No Limits champion twice. Totally different planet when it came to championships. This is a title, basically anything goes, no disqualification, and you carried that belt, like we said, for a year without being pinned. And it wasn't just about being pinned. I mean, anything could have happened. You could have hit with a chair and got pinned, or you could have got, you know, hit with a crutch and got pinned. So not only did you not lose, you avoided everything that had to do with an anything goes type of title.
Yeah, I think I really did something different with the No Limits title, and I appreciate you understanding that that my contribution there, because the No Limits title it really has no rules, as you had said. There's no disqualifications, there's no countouts. The only way to lose that championship is to be pinned or submitted. And funny enough, I was never pinned or submitted to lose the title. I lost that in a 4-way match, and Chris Steeler, who of course is now champion through some loophole. He's champion now, but he's the one that got pinned in that match.
Right.
So I was No Limits champion 366 days, 1 year and 1 day, and I didn't even get beat. So I really elevated that title even more in losing it, because I'm the man that held it that long and didn't even get beat. So that title, really, it's up to Steeler to follow in my footsteps, and I'm not sure if that's possible for him, but he can kind of carry some of that glow that I put on the belt, and I do mean it seriously. I really did work very hard. I defended that championship against the likes of Elijah Burke and Jeff Cobb, Evolve signed competitor. I mean, I'm not just defending my title against local guys, local ticket sellers. I mean, I'm defending the championship against incredible, some of them former WWE superstars. Others, again, Evolve. They're working with Evolve, contracted PWG. I mean, these guys are competing around the world.
Right.
So I really do feel like I did a lot for that belt, and now it's time for me to move on. I've done everything I can for that No Limits title. I'm glad Steeler has it, because now I don't have to carry that anymore. It's time for me to get the richest prize in the game for Warriors of Wrestling.
Now, you beat Bonesaw Jesse Brooks for that title. And probably one of the most physical matches you'll ever see in an intergender match. To the limit. You won. You held that belt for 366 days. Never really lost the title. Like you said, you weren't pinned. Now, your eye is on the world title, currently held by Jason Karloff. What is your mental state going into a match against a competitor like that, who is, I mean, he's ferocious. He's an animal.
And let's firstly say that the next Warriors of Wrestling show is the 4th, which is next Saturday. So we're 6 days away from that. And Jason Karloff, my issue with Karloff is very simple. My issue with him is that at Final Solution 8, and look at how this works out. Final Solution 8, Karloff faced Rude Boy Riley. Rude Boy had put his title on the line against Karloff's career.
Right.
That was the same event that I beat Jesse Brooks for the No Limits Championship to start my 366-day reign. So this has all been coming together. So Jason Karloff lost that match. Therefore, his Warriors of Wrestling career at least, was done. He was supposed to walk away. The problem is, fast forward 1 year later, Final Solution 9, not only is he wrestling, but he was in the world title match for the 4-way match, and then ended up winning.
Right.
So to me, that's not right. That's not fair. That's not good business. When a guy puts his career on the line, you advertise the show like, hey, his career's on the line. Joe, you listen, here's the big match. Either he wins the belt or he goes home. He didn't win the belt, but he never went home.
Right.
That's not right, and that's what the Hostile Collective stands for. We stand for the injustices that everyone's forgetting about. You have this war between Joey B and Commissioner Rob Blatt, owner versus commissioner, but they're taking the focus off of the guys that are competing to win titles, the guys that's champions. That focus should be on me and doing right by me, or at least focused on Karloff and removing him from the situation, because he lost his career and we just skipped over that. That's not right.
Understood.
And also, I won the Ultimate Survival match. You want to say me and Chris Steeler both feet hit the floor at the same time? Go right ahead. Point of the matter is, it should have been me versus Karloff. Me versus Rude Boy Riley, 1-on-1 in December with both titles on the line. And I proved that I'm better than Rude Boy because I beat him at Cold Fury. I'm the first person to pin Rude Boy Riley in almost 3 years in Warriors of Wrestling. That